But with I tell people that, I mean, yeah, we put like a lot of work and a lot of hours and stuff what into what we're doing, but when you get through, it's kind of just like a thing you have to go through in order to get to the other side of success.
You never know how you react in a situation till you in that situation. This is where I almost lost my life. February 2017. I never talked about it. The only people that know is my family. But I was coming home from a friend's house. Earlier that day, I think I had like 3-4 gigs in a day. And I went to celebrate with some friends, another friend's birthday. Then my brother, to celebrate his birthday, we were traveling out of town the next day. So I was like, I gotta get home. It's like 3-something in the morning, I think. And I was like, man, I remember being tired, but not really feeling like I was that tired. So I was like, man, I'm trying to make it home. So I'm coming home, and I'm like, whew, man, whew. Wind the windows down, blast the music, like, whew, you gotta stay up. You're almost home. This is like 5 minutes from my house, if that. So right here, I was coming up right here, and right there, at that corner, I'm coming up right here, my car, I fell asleep. I fell asleep at the wheel. Now, important thing to see is that one, this is out of its groove. Like, I pushed the whole thing back. Now, on the other side, I snapped this. That's a crack in it. They built this because of what I did to it. When they inspected the car and I brought the car in and all that, and they did their report, the engine had moved and it just had broken the seal of where my legs were. And I hit this thing head up, like right in the middle of the front of the car. The front of the car hit this right smack in the middle. Right in the middle. And if it was to the left, I think they said 10 inches, I wouldn't have no legs. That's something I think about. Like I said, I've been in drive-bys. I've been in countless crazy situations. And man, like, to think I escaped those things and then almost took myself out of the way, you know what I mean? So I'm just super thankful that God saw fit to spend my life, give me another day, another opportunity to get it right, get it a little better. Man, so there's a lot of things I wasn't hip to. I didn't know 95.5, 93.9, any of them stations until I got to like 8th grade. But I was very hip to other things. Like, I knew all about soccer. I knew all about Rastafarianism or Rastafari. It was different. It kept me a social outcast for a long time because, the TV shows and the movies and things that Americans grew up watching, I didn't watch. I'd be in the house listening to Beres Hammond and Sanchez and Garnet Silk and watching old cowboy movies with my dad. I don't know why that is. Like, in Jamaica, they love cowboy movies, like love. So it was unique. It was very different.
Oh boy, I remember Orville was our first nephew actually, and growing up he was something else.
Growing up with Orville, what I remember mostly with Orville, known as Junior, is that I remember he used to always go around and bite you in the top of the head. So I remember one particular time he climbed up behind me and bit me in the head. I was like, what? So it was, and then I remember another time we went to Jamaica. His first time going to Jamaica. And he just kept on running. He was just running all over the place. We had to run him down and he just kept on running all over the place.
Growing up with him, let's see. One thing I can say is that he's very overprotective of the females, like the young women in his family. I can specifically speak for me and two of our cousins, Kristen and Marika. He always says every time he goes out with us, he has to keep his head on a swivel. And we're like, calm down. It's not that serious. But that's just the type of person that he is. Like, he's all about family.
Okay, yeah, growing up with Orville is, it was very, very interesting because he'll get mad at you, but he'll be like really like loving at the same time. Like, Ian, man, I'm just doing this because I love you, man. Just listen to me, all right? Like a lot of that type of stuff. And it's very, he's very, what's the word I'm looking for? It's what they don't. It's very, very dramatic, but like in a non like life-threatening type of way.
Just extra. That's what I
All right, there you go. Extra. There you go. All right.
I remember when he was probably the toddler age, like he was hilarious because for some reason Orville had this infinity with biting hair. So it was like we had a neighbor and every time she would come over to play, his hands and his mouth was always in her hair. He would hold on for dear life. But growing up, I remember him, like Donna said, always being rambunctious, always being very intuitive, like an explorer, always trying to figure things out. I remember when he was 12, he was having like, the growing pains, and one day he came in and his mom, he had gotten in trouble with his mom, and he was like, nobody understands me. And I was like, I know, because I'm 12. So he was always a great kid.
With him going around, he's always Mr. Cool, always wearing his hat backwards. So I could tell her this kid's gonna do something. I don't know what he was gonna do, but he's gonna do something.
My parents always made it their business to make sure I had a clear sense of my culture. Like, that's why as a kid, every summer, since I can remember, I was in Jamaica all summer. Of course you come back with an accent, So I come back with the accent and I talk like, son, they be like looking at you crazy. Like, what? I'm like, bro, I'm just talking. It's like, so where you from?
When the gun point at you, what you gonna do? I said, what you gonna do? What you gonna do? When the gun point at you. Young men wildin' in the dark. It's cause they bank accounts low, but they mind still sharp. It's cause it's a bunch of haves, but even more have-nots.
I knew I wanted to be a poet when I think I was with, who was I with? I think I was at church. I was at church and there was a litany group they had. I can't remember the name of the litany group.
See, we're brothers. For real, we're cousins, but we're brothers. Play place to motivate, or better yet, educates, or demonstrates to teach you how to infiltrate the darkened mind state you may currently be in. See, we're poets. Poets or wordsmiths. I love that word. I like that. So it's nothing for us to put words in the particular situations we want them to be in. True. But don't get it twisted. Please, Jones. See, we have long objectives, sharp perspectives, and we talk for those who are mostly neglected. True.
They were in a group and they like kind of acted out and spit poems. And I was just sitting there and like, they're dropping bars. Like, and I'm looking around at everybody else like, yo, are y'all, that bar didn't hit y'all? Let me explain it to you. Do you hear what she said? Like, oh my goodness. And just the poise and the professionalism and how the message really resonated with people. And I remember it really resonated with me because, you know, as a youngin', like, you know, I go to church and hear the sermon, but that never really resonated with me. But what they did with this poem was more powerful than any sermon I'd ever heard.
He's grown like leaps and bounds from when he first started as a teenager.
Yeah, well, Orville, I guess he has been doing it since he was like a teenager, and you know, to see how he grew from where he was to what he's doing now. Cause now, not only that, he's doing spoken words, he have like a harmony with it, like a little song and stuff like that. So he have grown a lot.
How has his career progressed since you first heard him do spoken word?
He was trash earlier.
Garbage.
Garbage. I didn't even listen to his stuff earlier. Second off. I was like, what is poetry? Like, who does that?
Real talk, I actually remember Orville's first performance at the Public Playhouse. I remember that. I was there. He was wearing all black, nervous as crap.
You remember what he was wearing?
Yeah, man, because it was a big day, man. It was a big day. So,
big day for you.
His whole family was there. Philip was there. He was checking the door. You were checking the door? Checking everybody's coats?
No, it wasn't.
But it was from, so I remember, and as a matter of fact, I think, is it on Facebook? We actually heard it recently. I think it's on Facebook. Somebody was recording, but it's on the web. I remember being there, and it was really, really good. And you know, it was a forecast of what was to come.
So my first poem was my grandaunt, Aunt Tiny, affectionately called Big Mama. She was retiring, and it was like this huge, you know, family reunion type jump. And so my mom looked at me and my brothers and was like, you know, you guys should do something for Aunt Tiny. And me and Roland looked just like what? We ain't finna sing. And she was like, I don't know, write a poem or something. Simple, just like that. I don't know, write a poem or something. And I was like, all right. So I took a piece of paper with me. It was like maybe a half-hour drive, and wrote on it front and back. And when I got there, my mom was like, you ready? You good? I was like, yeah. And she quieted everybody down, and I read it, and everyone applauded. And I remember me just trying to rush to my mom to tell her, like, Mom, how'd I do? And people were talking to her, rushing her, like, yo, he reads so well. Oh my gosh, he reads so well. When did you write that, Lorna? And my mom was sitting there like, yo, he wrote that. He wrote it in the car. And so that was the first experience I had ever writing a poem.
Peace King, when we gon' sit and build? When it's time for construction, only sign I get is yield. Man, I really gotta chill. I'm hearing rumors still, and we gonna address them. Hold on, here's the whole spill. Say they saying Orville the Poet, that brother he conceited. Same people said it, reached out for a feature. Hit my social media, it said online them poems cold, brother, but in person, they up in the freezer. See, these lyrics be my bullets, my craft, my Smith & Wesson. So literally, I'm using my music as a weapon, not for violence, but progression. If you ready, come and step in. Gentrification, displacing families before adolescence. They gotta move. We gotta move. We in schools. Point to prove. We just learn. we never lose. So when the G word coming, we ain't gonna move, we ain't gonna move, we ain't gonna move.
I've been in the open mic scene for a long time, like going to different venues, features, hosted in different venues. And I remember a venue in particular I went to at the time. It was called the Doge. A lady named Nina Holiday was hosting, and I was sitting back, you know, and just checking out the vibe, checking out all the different poets. I remember this young dude, man, went up there and did his thing. And I started seeing him periodically through different venues that I was going to, and I was like, man, he really got his grind on him. So, you know, spoke to him, introduced myself to him, and I said, man, you know, I want you to come out to a venue that I'm hosting. At the time, I was doing an event called Just Wine, Cheese, and Poetry, Annie's Art Gallery in Camp Springs. Real dope event, man. It was crazy. It was always a packed house, always good energy. And I asked him, I said, man, how would you feel about being a feature?
I was like, dope. What's a feature? He was like, yo, that's just you for 30 minutes. I was like, nah, cuz you got the wrong person. I only know one poem. And he was like, well, it's in 3.5 weeks. You know, the offer's still there, but I think, you know, I think that gives you ample time to, you know, get ready for the feature. You should, you know, you should think about it. And I was like, all right, cool. I remember Godson, that night after Indulge, he was like, yo, Just Me said, what's up, dog? You want the feature, dog? What you gonna do? I was like, man, I got practice, bruh. He was like, yeah. And, you know, did the feature at Just Wine and Cheese, Annie's Art Gallery in Temple Hills. And it really took me under his wing, man.
Me and O met through actually the work of spoken word. It was like at Annie's Art Gallery. Our big brother Just Me had the joint, and you can always tell when somebody comes equipped with a message and a posture of humility. So, you know, O and I climbed from the ranks at the bottom of the open mic list in DMV and other places to really be able to curate spaces and create that culture of art for everybody to engage in.
I actually met Orville and Just Me at the same time. So we went to, me and my friend Janice, we was looking for poets in the area. And we was doing this event for the magazine. And we was looking for poets, and she must have heard about this open mic, so we decided to go. And we get there, somebody told her about some poets that was gonna be there. That's why we went. And we went there, and first person that performed was Just. Just did this love poem that when he do it, he gets in a female's face and like make the female feel all some type of way. And I was that female that she made me feel some type of way, Just Me. But Orville went next. And we saw Orville, and I was like, man, that guy is like good, like real good.
When your passion doesn't pay your bills.
What do you do when your passion doesn't pay your bills? Yeah, passion.
What do you do when your passion doesn't pay your bills? What do you do when your passion doesn't pay your bills? I mean, what container does your passion really fill? See, I feel fulfilled whenever I step up and pour out my heart and soul on the mic, but some audience members still leave empty like I never spilled anything. So I'm steady thrashing through obstacles, trying to overcome my own doubt, because the Lord told me my passion is the one thing I should never try to live life without.
Passion.
He's very, very passionate about spoken word. It's up there. It's very, very much up there, like borderline crazy up there.
Orville's passion, man, is something to it comes like it's authentic. It's very authentic, man. Like I said, I've been rocking him for a long time, and I see his growth and his consistency, and I can see the actual love for the art. You know, it's a lot of people who do poetry, but they don't all do it on the same level for the same reasons. Like, he has a genuine love for the art, and it shows through his words and through his vision, through the different things that he's doing in the poetry scene, and not just poetry, being able to take poetry and transition into other forms of art.
Eat, sleep, breathe.
Like, honestly, eat, sleep, breathe, work, and then his other like 3 jobs, which is just doing different spoken word events and stuff like that. So like, I'll always call him up, hey, Junior, can you pick up some groceries? Or can you do it? Oh man, I got this event to go to. Or he'll call me up, Ian, yo, guess what, man? I got this event at the White House. Or hey, Ian, guess what, man? I'm a poet ambassador for, you know, fighting cancer with poetry and, you know, like all that stuff.
His passion for the spoken word, man, is unbelievable. Because he said he's not gonna make nothing get into his way of his passion of his poetry, spoken words. So he's just focused straight on his spoken word, and he's not gonna divert from nothing. Oh, we always tease him about getting married, and he said no, he ain't getting married. If he get married, that's gonna mess his spoken words up.
That is the truth.
So you know that is focus right there. You know.
You know, you ever hear the terms where someone asks if you're a Redskins fan and say, yeah, I'm a Redskins fan. If you cut me, I bleed burgundy and gold. Now, if you cut all come out is just words. That's all come out, words. That's the passion. That's how passionate he is about it.
Artists go through different things, different stages, peaks, valleys. That's life. That's the same thing with artistry. But his vision of just pushing, like, he was still writing poems when he was going through the lowest point that I've seen him at in our 2 years. You know what I mean? And we're pretty consistent with each other as far as checking in, so we know what's going on pretty consistently. And the lowest point, he was still finding, like, you know, maybe there was certain glitches in the matrix, maybe there was certain like spaces, but it didn't. Like, I feel like his mother said something along the lines, or wrote him a letter and was like, you can't quit, you just have to keep pushing, period. Like, this shit is heaven sent, this is a bigger purpose, and if you quit, then it lets me down, it lets my being and my existence down, right? So with that being said, he transcends that, or should I say, that he pours that into me with his passion.
Spoken word, I believe, means more to him than the air he breathes. And I think that's how much he loves it. Because the things I see him do, going to his regular job and then leaving his regular job and going up to this poetry, then coming home and going to his regular job, you have to really love something that much to sacrifice so much for it. So he loves it more than the air that he breathes.
Yeah. Float your man. Poetic rockstar.
So, Poetic Rockstar met maybe 5 years ago now. When I first met him, along with Flow Spasms, they were like throwing events together, right? So I got booked to feature at an event. So I came, did my thing, and you know, if you've booked me for an event, if you know me, you know I don't like to just come and feature and roll out. I like to be there for the whole event. So I'm checking out the event, and Poetic Rockstar goes up and spits a poem. It's fire. I was like, yo, that's dope. So, like, from that day, a friendship began. You know what I mean? And it was a synergy there that I never experienced with different artists.
So there's, especially when you're entertaining or you're in front of people, there's one thing that you cannot fake, you cannot teach, and you cannot fabricate is chemistry. Chemistry is key to any dynamic or duo or any group presentation.
Oh man, it was magic. It was magic. Seeing them on stage together, it gives you chills. Like, you can't even describe it. That's it. You can't describe it. They were amazing. They were amazing on stage. The way, the chemistry, the way Orville knew what he was about to say, DJ knew what Orville was about to say. If one person forgot a lyric, the other person picked them up, and you never knew. The energy, you can tell that it was more than friendship, it was a brotherhood.
So, you know, we got popping like hot grease, man. We went on tour. You know, we started putting stuff down in the studio, but, you know, sometimes in life, man, some people make some poor choices, and he made some poor choices, man. So, since then, you know, I haven't heard much from him. But, you know, he was a super dope artist and was a good friend. But, you know, since then, passive change.
It was unique watching him having to remain true to who he is to get through the storm when his mother, Auntie Lorna's, transitioned. But I think that also birthed so many layers of him knowing that this spoken word was his medicine. He couldn't walk away from it. In fact, Mama is like, it's so powerful. I'm watching someone profess what can be many of our greatest fears, right? The transition of our parental unit, mothers namely. And the way he owned that piece and the way he delivered that piece. I mean, there's several pieces in the catalog that talk to the streets that we saw and grew up in. But I love the bravery, the honesty, the vulnerability of that man. The quiver in his voice, the smile when he thinks about her and talks about her.
My mom was an amazing person who just was clicking on all cylinders. One thing she never tolerated is always gotta handle your business no matter what's going on.
The way she juggled kids, groceries, and dry
so
cleaning, she be magician.
That's why I try to juggle my family, my art, work, personal life, and all of these things in a respectable manner because my mom did. But she always made sure she handled her business and that family was taken care of and the less fortunate. So if she was here right now, and you said if I could ask her anything, or if I tell her anything, I wanted to tell her. And truth be told, man, like one of the realest things is like when I got that call, like, yo, we need to head to the hospital right now. And I was at work, and I remember like just collapsing. And I picked myself up like, yo, you gotta go. You gotta go. You don't know how much time you got, you gotta go. And I got there, and she had already passed. And I just remember feeling like, well, God, just take me to them. But if she was here right now, and I could tell her something, I would tell her, Mom, I love you. And I'm so sorry that I didn't say that more. I'm so sorry that I didn't jump to the things you was hipping me to early. I'm so sorry that I took the knowledge and the wisdom you were imparting on me for granted. I'm so sorry. If I could tell my mom anything, I would tell her I'm sorry, yo. And I love her so much. And I see her every day. Every day I look in the mirror, I see her. Every day I look at grandma, I see her. Every day I look at my brothers, I see her. That's what I tell her if she was here right now. That's what I tell her.
How has Orville's talents progressed since you first met him?
Oh man, I can't wait to hear this one.
Some shit. Some shit. Nah,
I'm about to get out of here.
My man was always sharp. Yeah, it comes back. That's a 6. I ain't gotta touch the dice. I know the game, baby. I know the game. But nah, how has it progressed? It's this real confidence with, what's that?
That's
Just
2
tell him.
6s, man.
Just tell him what it is in case he ain't
showing
zooming in.
off, bro. Like you
1,
never
2, 3,
rolled this
4,
many
5,
6s
6.
ever in a row.
And we're gonna take that out. Pause. So the progression that I can honestly say I've seen is not about performance, because I think you could put me and him in front of 50 or 50,000 and we would be able to fucking connect with every single person in there. Like we get that, right? That's probably what drew us to each other, because we know how important it is to do that. The show can stop and it can be more of a conversation. The song can die out and it can just now get into stay in that rhythm right there, or that pocket right there, or that groove right there, or that thing that then people are now singing and chanting. We get that, like, you know what I'm saying, as MCs and performers. But what I think I've seen is confidence in getting in different levels of performance. So now trusting your voice and singing, trusting your cadence with rhythms and spontaneity. Because see, poetry is the godfather of hip hop. You feel what I'm saying? Like poetry is, before hip hop, it was poetry, period. And poetry is really, hip hop is just poetry if you're doing that shit correctly. Whatever lens is catching this to you niggas out here. If you're doing it correctly, poetry is just over a beat and you knowing the cadence to hit on either a 2, 4, 6, or 8 measure, period. So with him, he's now getting to this point of trusting his voice, trusting his I don't want to say rap, but just trusting his MCing ability, so that it doesn't just have to be in the way he wrote the poem, but the way he can now spit it to different backgrounds. And that's it. And that's an advancement in itself. That's growth and evolution. So I would say that's what I've seen, because homie shuts down a fucking show regardless, since the time I met him.
I think every year we grew. I don't even want to say that. Every 6 months, every 3 months, we grew. It was like, all right, we did this, what's next? We did stuff that you like he said, that you like stuff you dream about. We went on tour, like, with no money. But we all went on tour, like going to venues in Philly, gas up the tank, let's go. Like, every year he grew. And I think when he performed at the White House, I think that was so the first time he performed outside the White House, that was the moment when I said, man, I got something good. I got something real good. Not even from a business aspect, it was just from a friend aspect. It was like, man, this right here, this is bigger than I can even imagine.
It's called Light 'Em Up. Take me from this darkness, oh, that I've been lost in. Please renew my sight. Take me to the light. break my heart in pieces. I'm so sorry, Jesus. Wash me from the start. I wanna be your spark. Light 'em up. See, my way left me desolate. A lot of broken promises and sentences, and see, I always had subjects, I just lacked predicates. Hard to record nights, and even harder to remember mornings. Lint-filled pockets, desperately searching for my earnings, fishing for something that would stay and never leave. I tried God, bounced back, no magic, nothing up my sleeve. God opened up my chest and mental capacity. We have to keep fighting for the cure like the answer to, do you want a higher salary? Hold the note and stay true longer than Whitley. Raise your arm or better in your fist if you're with me. It's up to us to do what we have to do for the cure to come quickly. Take me from this darkness, oh, that I've been lost in. Please renew my sight. Take me to the light. Break my heart in pieces. I'm so sorry, Jesus. Wash me from the start. I wanna be your spark.
So the first poem that I remember him having to say or come up with was my mom kind of telling him, I think it was for Aunt Tiny, my grandaunt, it was her birthday. And he's like, I don't know what to do, I don't know what to do. And she's like, do a poem or something. It kind of just was an afterthought. And he was like, oh, he heard the poem, and his antennas went up. And then he actually, went in his room and closed the room door. And I remember him actually in there for a little bit of time and actually came up with the poem. Now my mom, I later on found out that she did some light poetry herself and photo albums that she would keep over the years. In the back of it should be some poems. And then my father did some form of poetry also. So I guess, her saying it under her breath was kind of from her experience. And then, it's not like, hey, sit down and do a poem. It's kind of like, I don't know, maybe a poem or poetry. And he really, he went with it.
What is your overall? What is the end game? Is there an end game?
There is no end game. There is no end game. Every day to just keep pushing the culture forward, keep being a better version than I was yesterday. And I let loose the demon of being the best poet in the DMV or the best poet in the US or the best. I'm just trying to be the best OJ I can be. The best Orville Walker Jr. I'm just trying to be the best me I can be, man. And if you're trying to be the best, hats off to you, kudos. If that's what, floats your boat, awesome. But for me, knowing that my family's behind me, knowing that, something I've shared has touched someone in a special way, or, just growing as an artist, like growing my visibility, my brand, and things of that nature. I'm about to come out with this EP. That's something I've never done. I've always loved music, but never did it. I finally said, get out your way. Let yourself express yourself. And it sounds pretty good. I ain't even gonna lie to you. It sounds pretty y'all gonna hear it, but So there is no end game. Keep pushing.
What words of encouragement could you give Orville that you never got to say to him?
Fulfill your promise to your mother. So that ain't no encouragement, that's just king shit. So, I know what fuels him, which is his passion and his God, but short of that is his mother, and he wouldn't be here without her. And that letter isn't anything to play with, and luckily he understands the weight of it, and he understands the weight of his responsibility for his family and for his purpose in life. So with that, you can't play around with your purpose in life. We're not here to just know our purpose and not fulfill it.
Keep on keeping on, man. Keep on moving on up. Never look back. You know, keep striving for the high, and I know that's what he wants, and that's what he's gonna do. You know, that's what I think he's gonna do, man. So just keep on striving for the heights.
Stay focused. Keep your eye on the prize. Won't have time for no excuses. We doing it. Period. Whatever you want to do, we've done everything we wanted to do. So why not? No one can tell us we can't do nothing. So my words of encouragement to him is, pull up your big boy pants and let's go. It's time to work.
Orville, you're not even at your prime yet, son, and you killing the dream. You're not even at your prime yet, and I just want you to continue to share what you're feeling with the rest of us. Just continue. Go through what you're going through, but never hide anything from us, because that's when you produce your best work. So keep at it, bro. You're not at your prime yet. I can't wait to see where you're gonna be in 5 years.
Keep doing what you're doing, man, and we all are behind you, man. And respect.
Consistency will get you where you need to go. Obviously, you know that everything will not always go smoothly, but if you stay consistent, you will always be successful.
Don't forget LeVar Jones. I encourage you to never forget everything. And when you're on TV and President Trump introduces you to keynote speaker for one of his dinners, I just want you to thank me and to let the world know what I've done for you.
Walk into your purpose. God has placed a purpose on your life, and you're able to influence many people through the work that you're doing. It's spoken word, which is your life. You said art is your life. And to walk into purpose God has called you to do. And keep him first. And remember, there are others who are looking at you as the example to follow. So you also have a responsibility, not just to yourself, but to others.
You already doing what you say you want to do, so that's what you are. You are what you say you are. Keep following your dream. Keep driving. Keep pushing. And don't ever let nothing stop you from this, man. Even if you got to take a step back, regroup, and keep pushing even harder than you did before. That's the only thing I had to say, man. Just keep pushing, man. Don't ever give up. We talked about this from day one, man. Keep going.
And if he ever gets to a rough spot where he thinks where you think you can't do something, just look back at your resume. Your career is pretty limitless. You show you did the time, you put the time and the energy and the effort into it. It's going to happen. You're not only growing, but what you're putting out is helping others to grow, and it uplifts. It helps the community. So keep doing it. I love you. You're my brother. And limitless is your potential.
Continue to keep God first. He'll never lead you down the wrong way. Just you're on the right path.
Keep God first.
We're super proud of you.
For the love of God, get some sleep sometimes.
See, I just
but
said
even though I just
staying up late, look, and how you gonna say that?
Even though I just said, but okay, no, because sometimes with him, it's like no sleep, like 24 hours.
Because he still tries to have his social life too on top of doing that.
I just get 3 hours of sleep in there as well.
Yeah.
But
this is all out of love. It's all out of love.
Good.
And let this be a lesson to you, man. No matter how hard you're grinding, you gotta sleep. You gotta sleep. Health is wealth. And if you just going, you don't take no rest time, man, you're gonna eventually drop. You know what I mean? You gotta take that rest time, that time out. The busier I get, the more I see how important time off is to just chill, rest, and do nothing, just be, because, you know, especially if you have a full-time grind as well. If you got a full-time job or a part-time job and an all-out hustle, you gotta have those breaks, you gotta have those times where you just, you know, unplug, unwind. Me, I like to play PlayStation, you know what I mean? Or go bowling, or to the movies, or, you know what I mean, chill with some homies, play some lute, or just some great conversation, you know? But you gotta find, whatever that is for you, you gotta find that. And take a moment, take a break. Like big homie Jeff from Silent Treatment said, he's like, you gotta breathe. You know, you gotta take time to breathe. So, you know, let that be a lesson, man. I was super blessed. I could have went a million different ways, but I'm still here. And how do I not go hard?
You ever felt? No. Have you ever prayed to God?
It's got to be on camera, son.
It's already
Junior.
Stop.
Sorry, it's not flowing.
Boy was nervous as a mud. Alright? He was nervous. And I'm sitting there like, overcoming. We're all in line waiting. He's like, I said, you do peer poetry, you perform and do almost every day in the week. What's the difference? Dancing for everybody. Dude, it's the same stuff. This man gets out there and the music is go nigga. And this man is doing the fastest no nigga I've ever seen in the history of Jamaica. And I'm saying, I'm looking at him, I'm looking at him. But it's because he was nervous. And I get it.
It's all good, man. We love you, though.
But we didn't realize how quick, we didn't realize that, and literally until we watched the tape after. When you watch it and you see, you're like, man. And the funniest part was when it was done, he ran off the path. Remember how he like jumped up, ran off real quick? You gotta see it.